Oh, yes, yes, yes. You know what that sound means. Time for In the Paddock F1. Greeny and the cheese. Ring those bells. Ring those bells. We've reached the last race in Europe for the 2024 season. For the 75th time, it's the Italian Grand Prix. And we are 12 miles outside of Milan, Italy. Milan, the economic heart of Italy. And don't forget the thriving fashion industry. Michael, let's get you strutting down that catwalk, sir.
I ain't strutting for nobody. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see me strut.
You can also check out the Gothic cathedrals. Did you know this, Michael? Da Vinci's Last Supper mural can be found there in Milan. How about that? No response. Very, very, very good.
How about
and of course, don't forget about the food, which I know you're going to talk about there, sir.
Listen,
what you got? Come on.
As always, you got pizza is so different in Italy than it is, but a little vino and a little real Italian pizza. Don't have the stuff on top like we have here, like the artichokes and the pepperoni and everything. You got real cheese and sauce and pizza, a little bit of vino. That's all you need. That's all you need.
I'm down. But this ain't no travel show. This is an F1 show. We're 12 miles north in the Royal Hunting Grounds. That's right. We're racing the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, the Temple of Speed, 11 corners, 2 DRS zones, only 40 gear changes a lap. You give it the full beans for 70% of that lap. And oh baby, Monza gave us a race today, boys and girls. Team Papaya had the front row locked out. Piastri passed Norris in turn 4 on the opening lap. Leclerc then took second. Oh, and sometimes you gotta roll that hard stick, baby. Ferrari went with the one-stop gamble. It pays off as Leclerc wins for the second time at Monza. Piastri second, Norris third. Oh, and there ain't nothing better than when Ferrari takes the top step at Monza. That is a scene, man. That is a scene. We're caffeinated. We're medicated. Greeny. Good day, sir.
Good day. Even better day with Fosi.
Heck yeah, baby.
They take essentially what is a backbreaker potentially for McLaren as they sit here as I'm just like literally looking at the updated standings as we speak here, as Lando Norris is 70 points back. No, that's not updated.
That's not updated.
That can't be updated.
No, the updated is...
As we just finished the race here not too long ago.
Give me a sec here.
But we'll get to the updated standings. Go ahead.
303 for Max, 241 for Lando.
Okay, so that's
Team-wise... Team-wise... Yeah, about that. Team-wise, Red Bull's got 446. McLaren's got 438. And check this out. Ferrari's got 407. Ferrari's in the fight now, too.
Well, Ferrari came right back today. A 1-4 after a 4-5 start. You gotta love that. Both cars moving up on the grid and one all the way to the top. You had a premonition, sir, this morning, about 15 minutes before the race. You frantically started sending me bets with Leclerc winning it all. You were so close to the trifecta. We'll get to that later in the program. But what was it that gave you the premonition that this was Charles Leclerc's day to win his second Italian Grand Prix and second race of the season?
Ferrari had pace all weekend. Ferrari has also had better race pace this season than their qualifying pace. The Ferrari is pretty good on their tires. And this is going to be a big tire race. You knew that coming in with the hot temperatures in Italy, the new track surface. You knew that was going to be something. I just had a gut feeling. Ferrari at Monza, they waited to bring the upgrades that they're bringing for Monza. They waited to bring it up Monza. They were going for it all. Went for the one stop, rolled the hard six. I mean, I had Leclerc's in-car cam on F1 TV on for most of the race. And just the coaching they were going on, telling them to do this and that. And basically it was turn one and the final turn, the Parabolica, that they were really, really working hard to save the tires in that final stint, which was just brilliant to listen to. At one point, even Leclerc just said, just leave me alone. I got this. With about 5 laps to go, and they were still, with settings and things like that, they were going on. But it was brilliant. My other real takeaway is this. McLaren is throwing this thing away, especially for the Drivers' Championship. They're letting them race, which they probably shouldn't have going, after the first corner. They should have, because that's where it all kind of went bad for McLaren, right then and there. When Piastri passed Norris, Leclerc snuck in to second, passing Norris there going into the first Lesmo. I think that pretty much ruined Lando's race from that point on. Because as we know, the McLaren is way better in the clean air. McLaren also underestimated the Ferrari's pace. For race pace. Because Leclerc stuck with Piastri there. Because usually after a few laps, if you're not going to make the pass, you kind of drop off to try and get a little bit better air. Leclerc stuck in there for a long time. Long time. But McLaren's got to make a decision here. Are you trying to win? Yeah, you're probably right now. It's looking like you're going to win the constructors. But do you want Lando to take Max for that Drivers' Championship? Why didn't you swap there in the final couple laps to give Lando those extra points to cut the gap shorter to Max? I mean, this has been going on for a couple of races now. I've been thinking of this for a little bit now. Haven't said anything. But it's just, McLaren have been giving, I mean, you go back to the Hungary race. Mm-hmm. That would have been a huge point gap that Lando would have picked up. McLaren's almost like throwing this thing away for the Drivers' Championship. And, you don't get these shots all the time. To win a Drivers' Championship, the last couple of years. And to be able to close that gap, and to be able to take those shots to close that gap. Like, McLaren's got to make a choice. They're letting him race. I don't know if it's something to do with Piastri's contract, that he can't be put as like a number 2. Mark Webber is his agent, and you know how much Webber hated being labeled as a number 2 driver. Hated being labeled the number 2 driver to Sebastian Vettel when they were both at Red Bull. And they put, Vettel as the priority. So, but McLaren's got to make a decision here if they want to go for the driver's title, as well as the constructors. Which right now, you're still getting those big points finishes compared to Red Bull, but maybe that doesn't continue in races coming up. So you got to make that go. Letting Lando, Oscar them fight there after after you go into the second chicane after the Curva Grande. And letting Leclerc in there into that mix. If you would have just stayed 1-2 there, maybe even you pull away a bit, the two McLarens working together. And you get that 1-2. And you get that bigger point gain for Lando. I don't know, what's your take on that? I've been stewing on that one for a few weeks now. The constructors, I think McLaren can beat Red Bull. And right now, as you can see, Ferrari's now in the fight too. But McLaren just trying to get that driver's title for Lando and just not taking those point chances you can that they could have gained. What's that? Right off the top of my head, what's that? From 18 to 25, what's that? 7 points? 7 points today. He gains
It's
he takes second
it's a 3-point difference overall. I think it's a net 3 points is what we're talking about here as far as second, third, second.
Well, if he takes if Lando goes for that win in Hungary, that's 7 points. Today, if he goes second, what's that?
3
points.
It's a
3-point
difference.
So that's 10 points. That's 10 points.
Still puts you what, 52 points behind. Listen, I don't
still closer.
think
That's still closer.
think McLaren's concern at the moment is an individual race, and I think Lando Norris.
I think it should be though, don't you?
Norris has never won a race before this season. This is uncharted territory. This is uncharted territory.
But you're in the fight now. You're in the fight for it. You're in the fight for it. If Red Bull was in this situation, and you had Max and Perez going at it, you don't think Red Bull's would tell Perez to back off and let Max take it? Let Max take that win in Hungary. Let Max take that second place today to gain those points on whoever was in front. You don't think they would do that?
Sure,
you're in the fight now. You're in the fight now.
They've done it before.
In the fight. Mm-hmm. McLaren's in the fight now. You got to make a choice. If you're going to try and go for the driver's title too, you got to make a choice. And they haven't made the choice.
Yeah, and there was criticism right after the race that I heard right off the bat of the decisions that Zach Brown or whoever made that ultimate decision multiple times now to say, okay, Piastri is the number 2 driver. Hold on. Piastri is the number 2 driver. Okay, I don't care what you say. I don't care who his agent is. Piastri is the number 2 driver. Lando Norris is an established driver, a top 5 driver going into the season. Oscar Piastri is a kid. Okay, you want to say in 2-3 years from now, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but
that's all right.
I think it's really important. I think Piastri is the number 2 driver. Lando Norris may never have an opportunity to win again, may never have ever be in this situation to win again. Give him as many points as possible. I don't think the first time it happened in Hungary that there was that belief that Lando could actually do this. Now, with 7 races to go, it's a different story. But I don't think Lando can do it unless major collapse by Red Bull, even more so than they are now.
And the point that I was just going to make also before, it's fine that you cut me off. Why the heck are you pitting Piastri before the Ferrari? Like, that basically gave Ferrari the decision. They were talking about it on the radio about going to the one stop, but when they brought Piastri in, that was almost a green light. Let's roll the dice. Let's go for it on the one stop. You had Piastri in the lead. Would he pit a lap or two before? So I mean, that's a decision too. That they could have probably went for the one stop and won the race.
Yeah, I think Ferrari checked that weather.
Ferrari the last two races have gotten the strategy. Spot the hell on. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that after a couple years of the track
cooled down. You had those clouds go over track. The track cooled down, saved the tires enough for a one-stop race. Everyone was saying it's going to be too hot. They were talking about rain for a minute. The rain never happened. The intermediates never came out, and the cloud coverage cooled the track down just enough to be able to have a one-stop race. And I don't think teams pivoted enough or watched the weather enough or accounted for those clouds coming in. The clouds are the MVP today for Ferrari. It was the clouds, sir. The cloud watching club is victorious. And that's all I got to say about that. And by the way, anyone wants to check into the show, hop on in. The best way to do it right now is check us out either on YouTube and comment there. You can have the whole show there as we're working on now. Or of course, you can hit us up in the PaddockUSA@gmail.com. In the PaddockUSA@gmail.com. Send those questions over. And if they're good enough, we will read them on the program. Speaking of program, as always, I got my helmet ready. Jumping in. Had my little study guide today, so hopefully that helped. Probably didn't. Get your losers ready, but with the hope of Max Verstappen winning a race for the rest of the season. It is Quizmaster's Cockpit. 3 questions. 3 sectors. Got to get them all right, or might as well not show up. Cheese, what you got this episode?
Well, I'll just say this to start. I have winners first. So that's what I'm thinking.
Wow. No chance.
Question number 1, sir.
No chance.
Ferrari took this top step today in Monza.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time in Monza Ferrari was on the top step?
Was Leclerc in 2019?
That is correct.
Ooh.
Purple sector to start.
Ooh.
There have been 5 different pole sitters in the last 5 races at Monza. How many pole sitters have won?
Ever or in the last 5 races?
In the last 5 races, there have been 5 different pole sitters, including today.
Mm-hmm.
How many pole sitters have won in the last 5 races at Monza?
None?
That is correct. Question number 3. 2 purple sectors.
Wow. Almost uncharted territory here.
Pressure is on. We definitely need theme music, like for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like the.
All right, I'll work on it. I'll put it in my
because it doesn't come
notes.
often. Doesn't come often. You got 2 purple sectors. Question number 3, sir. Including today, how many times has the Scuderia Ferrari won at Monza in Formula One?
Been like 15?
No. Today was the 20th time Ferrari has won a Monza. And you crashed and burned.
Right at the end. Blew a tire. Right through the last DRS zone.
Pulled a Kimi Antonelli in the Parabolica. Final corner. Put it in the wall.
Close. But, of course, with being close means this is not horseshoes. This is not hand grenades. This is Quizmaster's Cockpit. Which means we go right into losers.
That's right.
I appreciate your confidence in my abilities.
I thought you would have had that one. Disappointed as always. You failed the class yet again. So therefore, the losers, Red Bull.
Yeah,
almost on like a full collapse mode right now.
Yeah, getting worse and worse every race.
It's like watching that Everton match yesterday when they were up 2-0 with 87 minutes into the game. They lost 3-2 after stoppage time.
That's hard to do.
It's almost like that's damn hard to do. 3 goals in 9 minutes. But Red Bull's on just an absolute stumble right now. They can't get anything right. Were nowhere with the tires the entire weekend. Yes, 6th and 7th, you're still in the points, but for Red Bull standards...
No, that's not. Come on.
That's not good enough. That Constructors' Championship is now down to just a handful of points here, so...
All right, what is it Ferrari to Red Bull right now? It's like
From
40
Ferrari
points?
to Red Bull, it is...
Current standings.
446 for Red Bull, 438 for McLaren, So that's 8 points.
8 points, that's nothing.
Ferrari is at 407. So what's that? 39?
Wow. All right. So Ferrari's a little further behind. There's a little bit of room. They got to start getting close to that, single digit as well. So they got some work to do. But it could be interesting if Ferrari can hold their own. But continue, sir.
Ferrari does have good races coming up. Definitely will be possibly in there next time out at Baku. And then absolutely definitely have to put the Ferraris probably near probably favorites early for like Singapore. I would say early because the Ferrari's always good at Singapore. Man, there's a bunch I could go to. Lance Stroll, 19th. I mean, what is it? I started Oscar Piastri post race say Stroll was driving like it was his first go-kart race. So there you go. And what else you got to say about that? That's awful. You got another peer saying you're driving like it was your first go-kart race. That's kind of embarrassing, if you ask me. I'd be embarrassed to hear somebody say that about me.
Yeah,
if I was a Formula One driver.
Fernando Alonso double the amount of points from the season than Lance Stroll. Doubles his points. So that's a little sad. Yeah, what do I got for losers here? Sauber, who almost got the slap here for this one. What's up with them? Like slowing down again at the back, where you have cars in the front who have warmer tires, trying to keep their tires warm at the start of the race, and Sauber once again slowing them down. They are just complete losers. They have lost complete control. Bottas was up there for a little bit with a late pit stop. Looked like he might even be competitive, but he couldn't finish. Zoe is lucky to even finish races anymore. It's a complete disaster with this team. It's not even the car itself. It's now the drivers are just almost like they've given up. You still got 7 races to go. This is a long time to go here. It's a little too early to be just completely giving up on the season, so got to give it up to them and their whole team right now. Sauber's got to do better from top to bottom. Anyone who has less... by the way, Ali Bierman, 14th in the driver standings as of post-race today. So anyone who hasn't passed that line, or even not even close, is this is definitely an issue as far as the season goes.
The Bearman line!
Yeah. And how about Alpine? Just as soon as they start coming back and start putting it together, we start saying, how good they can be. Really thought you were going to get a little bit more out of them this whole weekend, and they just couldn't get it done in those straightaways where you really thought they were starting to excel a little more. The data was saying, but they were slow. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they were so slow this weekend, and definitely finishing very poorly. 14th, 15th, definitely not where Alpine wanted to be, especially after starting to pick up points and going in the right direction. Now it looks like they're going in the wrong direction. Let's see in 2 weeks if they can recover in Baku. And those, sir, are my losers, which takes us into winners. And right back at you, homeboy.
Well, we didn't really talk about it enough earlier, but Ferrari. Strategy spot on. Yet again. 2 weeks in a row. We criticize Ferrari a ton for their poor strategy calls, but I don't know. Maybe the lightning bulb upstairs is finally turned on, and the strategy's been spot on. And Ferrari to win a Monza, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it in Formula One. When they let the people out on the track, the podium hangs over the track anyway. It's just a scene. It's a scene.
This guy's throwing out not even light bulb, lightning bolt. It doesn't even mention Carlos Sainz. Can you just say the name Carlos Sainz?
I was about to get to that.
Carlos Sainz because he had a pretty day
Carlos
yet
Sainz.
Again.
Absolutely. On his birthday, by the way.
On his birthday.
Happy birthday to Carlos. Absolutely. But just a great drive. I mean, he tried to play the rear gunner there for Leclerc too. I mean, he didn't have the pace at that point of the race. But another just great drive. 4th place. good points for the team. Has them in the constructors fight now. Absolutely brilliant. All around for Ferrari. Ring those bells in Maranello, boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I got a few. I got a bunch, actually, I could do for this one, too.
Give me one more so I can have a couple left here. Bro.
Colapinto.
Yep. Franco.
12th in his first race. 12th
Let's
in his
go,
first race.
Franco. Wow.
Let's go, Franco. Major improvement over Logan Sargent in one race. So there you go. Right call to fire that man.
Yeah, did Logan Sargent finish better than 12th this season? At any time?
I believe yes.
Maybe once?
Probably,
Did he get like a 10th or an 11th this season? I'll go back in the archives. Take a look. Go ahead, I apologize.
No, but just a great drive for the young man. Absolutely great drive for the young man. And those will be my winners.
All right. I'm going to go a little oddball one. I don't think many people might not agree with this one. But George Russell coming back after getting a little kerfuffle and a little issue there, lap one, and then being really unaggressive coming back on the track after he was kind of shoved off track there early, and try to come back on track, try to slip right in between those Ferraris, couldn't get in between the Ferraris, ended up way back, ended up having to pit, and really could have had a disaster of a day. Lance Stroll, I'm sorry, George Russell, really could have been completely out of the points. He put himself into 7th. I got to give it up to him. The Mercedes has definitely taken a step back since they're 3 out of 4 wins, a major step back. But I think George Russell, that could have been a disaster of a day for him. Complete disaster of a day. He almost shouldn't have had no business getting points today. So for the fact that he came back, even though he started 3rd on 2nd row, finished 7th, got to give it up to him. And of course, speaking of Williams, got to give it to Alex Albon, scoring points, coming in 9th. How do you not give it up to him? Really just a great drive. Maybe he has more confidence. Maybe he's happier with Logan Sargent out of there. Maybe that made a huge difference, a bigger difference than we might have known. So, gotta give it up to Williams showing up a 9th and a 12th. I really don't think that's that bad. Hopefully they can continue to be competitive because they looked like probably the 5th best team on the track today behind Red Bull.
I wouldn't go nuts there on the Williams. This track really suits what the Williams is good at, is go fast.
They got to keep showing up. Keep showing up. Today was definitely a track that suits them. They have to keep showing up and finishing anywhere from 9th to 12th in those 4 positions, and to show that they are the 5th or 6th best team on the grid. And I think they can do that. I think they're right in there with Aston Martin right now. In fact, the Lance Stroll's terrible. Terrible, by the way.
Well,
which, of course, sir. What's worse than terrible? And that's getting slapped.
I need to slap my goddamn for I need to slap my...
We had a little discussion on this one. I think you got to give it to K-Mag. Had 10 penalty points for the season going into the race. He's going to pick up 2 for that collision. That makes 12. That means he's suspended for Baku. That's just
suspended. Suspension, sir. Like a bad day in high school. Suspended for too much trouble. Yeah, listen. What a mess, man. What an absolute mess for Haas. It was bumper cars out there. It was absolute bumper car mania out there for the Haas. It was carnival day for them in Monza. It was not a regular race for them. I don't know what's going on. They're just really proving that they are the back of the grid again. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I know there were some points scored today. or a singular point scored today by K-Mac, who still hasn't passed the Bearman. I believe that's his 5th point of the season, so it doesn't even put it past the Bearman yet. There's still 7 races to go to try to get back past the one race that Ollie ran and scored 6 points. So hopefully, Godspeed. You need 2 more.
He might be in the Haas in Baku. He could be in the Haas in Baku.
Yeah, he might even be in that Haas in Baku. If he scores points in that Haas in Baku, it's going to be a party, man. It's going to be a true party. It really is. That would be unbelievable because this car is pretty much the same car they're going to bring next year. I don't see Haas making any kind of major upgrades here as it be between this car and next year's car. I know it's all really about 2026 for them, if they're even still in existence as a Formula One team. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that Haas.
Yeah, get up, slap yourself.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sorry, sir.
Oh, yes. You know what that sound means. It's the best damn sound of the week.
Best damn sound of the week.
As you take that fantasy ride to that fantasy island of Greentopia, where the beer flows like wine and the wine flows like beer. And the cannabis, oh yes, it grows as far as the eyes can see. Look at it out there. Look at it. Green and luscious. Take a little whiff. I'm going to take another one.
Ooh. Baby.
That air smells fantastic. Take a little walk to the top of the hill like a seal at the top. Just like Monaco, baby. Are we cashing in or are we checking out? I know I'm cashing in.
You're cashing in today, and we actually have an update, a major update, because preseason, we talked about, we made 5 bets preseason, and 4 of them, I think, are officially in. Okay? One of them we put on the board, which was Lando Norris winning. I had Lando Norris winning at least one race this season. You laughed at me when I said this preseason, but he has won multiple races, so that is on the board. We had another one this week. Would anyone be fired this season? And you said no. I said yes, and I won that one, so I'm going to put that one on the board for myself. Let's put a couple extra greenie bucks on the board for me there. Sainz would sign a contract over the break for 2025. We both said yes. So I guess we both get greenie bucks for that. So that's a double win. A little prognostication there coming through. And bet number 4 was Max Verstappen would have... First of all, we both said yes to the over-under of Max wins. What do you think the number of Max wins was? Vegas odds.
I don't remember.
Preseason.
18?
Actually, 18 and a half. 18 and a half was the Vegas odds. We both took the over. I think safely at this point, we can no longer win. Actually, as of last week, unless Max won out starting last week. So at this point, he cannot win 19 races. It's not going to happen. So those are crossed out. But for the winning side, we add an extra 200 greenie bucks to your end. We had an extra 400 greenie bucks to my end for that. I won 3. I'm 3-1 of preseason, and you are 2-2 for preseason.
Let's get to today.
Just wanted to add that in there. Just wanted to update the folks listening at home. But let us get to today because I put down 3 bets. I believe Fernando Alonso finishing top 10. Oh, just missed that by 0.2 of a second. God damn it! Lost that bet. I had forget what else I had. But
didn't you? You had 4 bets.
I had 3 bets.
You had 4. You had Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, trifecta.
All right. Oh, yeah,
Didn't get that one.
You're right.
You had Verstappen podium. That didn't happen.
No.
As you just said, Alonso top 10. That didn't happen.
No.
And you also had both Aston Martins
No.
to have a top 10 finish.
No. So
That
I
didn't
evened
happen.
out because I had the 400 win on the preseason bets and the
Yes.
400 loss. So that's puts me at 3,334 greeny bucks as of I had last week because the wins wiped out the losses. So your turn, sir. As I don't know how you did it. Speaking of prognostication, you, sir, picked Charles Leclerc to win the 2024 Italian Grand Prix, and he did, plus 1,500 on a 50 buck greeny bet, which gives you back 700 greeny bucks on your bet. So you can add that. You did have another 4 bets, but you lost, I believe, at a bet of 50 greeny bucks each. So you got to take back 200 of those, which actually evens out your other 200. So you're plus 700 on the day, which gives you 5,220 greeny bucks to my 3,334 greeny bucks, sir. You are almost at a 2,000 greeny buck lead. Pat yourself on the back, and between you and the Ferrari, I think you guys are having a pretty good holiday weekend here in the U.S.
I am indeed. To be 2,000 greeny bucks up on you is it's very nice. The Mad Hatter is going to have to come out soon, which is what I dream for every season.
Only 7 races to go. The hat might change for next week. We will see. We might have to look deep into the trifecta pool to see what we can come up with and put some serious greeny bucks down. We might have to go to 0 for broke. But if I have put 500 greeny bucks down and win a 10,000 to 1, plus 10,000 bet, that changes the whole game.
Well, absolutely. But then if you do make that massive bet and you lose...
That's not my vocabulary, sir. All right. Which, of course, brings us to the final part of the show, and the most important part of the show, and that is, sir... In the news. What do we got in the news?
Well, as you saw, just a little piggyback on last time out here, Haas paid their bills, so they were able to leave Zandvoort. How about that?
You knew they would pay their bills. You knew they would pay it.
And as we know, Sargent was canned. Follow up from last week, too, because we talked about, is he going to get canned? And we both said, I think, if I remember right, we both said, yeah, he's going to get canned. And Williams ended up going with Colapinto over Lawson and Mick Schumacher. We'll get into the Schumacher with not picking Schumacher in a minute because we got another story about that one. And apparently Red Bull didn't want to let Lawson go to drive that car. So what do you think about Williams' choice of Colapinto? Turned out to look pretty good today.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure you wrote that before the race, and I don't even think any of us thought that Colapinto would finish 12th. I wouldn't have been surprised or disappointed or upset, even being a Williams, if I was a Williams fan, if Colapinto just finished the race in general, finished 17th and just got over the finish line. That would have been fantastic. But to be able to really he wasn't really competing for points.
Made some moves.
He definitely made some moves. He had a pass.
Made some overtakes today. He
had some overtakes. Yep. I mean, past the Alpine, I believe. So, got to give it up to him, and he looked good doing it. I could not tell you much about Franco Colapinto.
He's been a good F2 driver. If I'm not mistaken, he's taken part at least once, possibly twice in the season. He's driven an F1, an FP1 session for the Williams. But I don't think he's gone more than like 8 laps in any of those sessions. So very, very impressive drive. Looks like a solid pick. Unfortunately, he will not have a ride there next season. since both seats are spoken for.
Yeah. Well, he's 21.
But he put a debut in. Another team, gets rid of, cuts somebody during the next season. He could get a call up too. So
absolutely. Listen, he's not the next Max Verstappen. He's not the next Lewis Hamilton. But he could be a solid Formula One driver, and he probably won't be in F1 2025, but maybe 2026 he can come back into F1 and put together a season for himself. So he's definitely on the board, and he'll be finishing out this season. And listen, I would want Liam Lawson as well, regardless of what Franco Colapinto did today. I probably would have want Liam Lawson either way. I think Liam could have been even more competitive. I think he's from what we've seen in Formula One, might be the better driver anyway. But got to give it up to Franco. Let's go, Franco. He's got the whole season to prove himself. If he can get any points, if he can pass the Bearman line, that's going to embarrass the entire anyone.
A lot of people.
Anyone who can. So I am rooting for him to get 7 points. Let's go. Let's go, Franco.
All right, third story. Val's, your boy Val's there for Williams.
My boy.
And Toto, your boy, got a little bit of a media spat there over comments made about Mick Schumacher. Did you see these? Are you familiar with this, sir?
I am not familiar with the Mick kerfuffle.
Okay, well then I will give you a little bit of an update. After they chose to go with Colapinto, he was asked about, as I said a minute ago, that Lawson and Mick were also in the mix. James Vowles said, Mick isn't special. He would be good. That kind of, rubbed Toto the wrong way, whose response was that was a statement that could have been avoided. He goes into saying how much Mick has improved since leaving Haas and that Gunther stunted his growth, by the way. Thought you'd like that one. But James Vowles saying he isn't special and he would have been all right, but Colapinto was a better choice. Thoughts on that?
Listen, when you're in that position of Formula One, it's a political position, okay? And you have to be democratic and political in these situations, which means everyone is wonderful. Everyone is special. If you drive a Formula One car, you're special. If you drive a Formula 2 car, you're special. You're all special. All the drivers are special because that's the commodity for daddy bucks, right? Daddy bucks pays the bills, whoever that person is, all the way at the top. Probably people you don't even know or hear of that are the big investors in Formula One. And they want you to believe that every single driver is special and has potential to come out and be good. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Now, what you say at a boardroom or a board meeting or behind the scenes or at dinner or hanging out with your friends is very, very different from a James Vowles political position where you should be democratic about everything and you should be as even-keeled where everyone's special. If you drive in Formula One, you're special. And that's it. And you're just a special person. What we say on these podcasts, right? We're not Formula One managers here. We are not in the position that we're in front of the media and representing our brand. We are not representing the Formula One brand. We are criticizing the Formula One brand most of the times. That's our job. Their job is to promote the Formula One brand and not have anyone want to not watch anymore because of a comment made. So bad for business. Put it this way: it's bad for business when you speak like that. And I'll leave it at that.
Yep, there's other things that could have been said for sure. We made a choice for this reason, and that's it. You don't have to say somebody's not a special enough driver. That could affect you down the road trying to pick up a driver. That comment might have rubbed the wrong way, and you might want to get this driver, and he's going to say, no. Yeah. No, I remember that comment you made. Yeah. Formula One drivers have, the greatest memory ever. Because they can tell you on lap 3, this happened in this spot of the track. The brake kind of grabbed a little bit more here or something like that, and they could tell you this 2 hours after the race to pick that up. So they will remember. Listen, if that comment rubbed them the wrong way, that'll rub them the wrong way for a while.
I'll leave you with this one tidbit of advice. This one tidbit of advice for James Vowles, which is on the tree of success. Every tree branch you climb on the way up is going to hit your ass on the way down. All right,
Yep.
so
Yep.
you're at the top right now. You're climbing to the top of that tree.
Yep.
One day you're going to fall from that tree, and all these comments are going to hit you right in the ass, and not good. What else you got? Finish strong.
Final one for you. Kimi Antonelli was officially named to take on the second seat with George Russell at Mercedes. But the day before that was officially announced, he crashed in FP1. I think on his third or fourth lap.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on that? Are you worried?
I am not worried. Everyone crashes every once in a while. It happens. Timing is everything. Timing is pretty terrible here. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I don't think that's any indication of what you're going to get or not get. Michael Schumacher crashed. Lewis Hamilton has crashed. Everyone's crashed at some point in their career. But it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
Kimi showed something in those few laps that he did run. I think going into the Parabolica, I think he was something like 11 kilometers faster than anybody else going into the Parabolica.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry.
The tires couldn't handle what Kimi was bringing. That's what it came down to. There was just ran out of grip because he was going 11 kilometers faster than anybody else.
All right.
I think what did Toto Wolff say
fine.
also? I think what did Toto Wolff say? They have a bigger problem of slowing him down than making him go faster. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We've got a long way to go for his career. We'll see what happens next year with him. And a lot of young kids sitting in the wings right now to take over a lot of older guys' jobs. Very, very exciting as we see Franco Colapinto come in today. Exciting. We see a Charles Leclerc surprise win, which shows you anything can happen on any given Sunday here. And we'll be back in 2 Sundays. Where are we going next, sir?
Going to Azerbaijan. We're going back to Baku, baby.
Castle, the whole thing.
That's the whole shebang. Leaving Europe goodbye. The rest of the races are in Asia, the Americas, and the Middle East.
Right on. Well, I will be at the New York Giants game next week. I'm sneaking in. I got my ticket, so I will be celebrating the New York Giants football home opener here against the Minnesota Vikings. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. So for those of you U.S. fans who enjoy the football, enjoy opening weekend of football. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with Azerbaijan, Baku. And as always, sir,
stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.